2024-2025. Public universities lecturers accuse government of negligence, vow to stay on the streets until the return to work formula is fulfilled. You are in safe pair of hands tonight. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. EBN Weekend Edition kicks off right now. Now we kick it off from Addis, where Raila Odinga has officially launched his manifesto for his African Union Commission chairmanship candidature at Addis Ababa. The high-profile event saw the former Prime Minister unveil his Pan-African vision and priorities, as well as implementation plan in line with AU's 2063 agenda. Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs Musalia Mudavadi is leading the campaigns, drumming support for Odinga, saying Kenya is pushing for reforms and presenting someone who shares that philosophy. Now, speaking at a separate event on Thursday, President William Ruto said that having a Kenyan leader at the helm of the African Union Commission would help him more effectively drive the AU reform goals.
In Togo, can be bought online by our housewife in Lusaka, where African products can be bought in supermarkets across the world under the name of African brands owned by Africans, and the African workers and farmers are proud of their products. An Africa that does not require visas for other Africans. An African men and women who do not climb on a rickety boat or in an airplane cargo hold, risking their lives to go to greener pastures. I envision a continent whose progress is driven by its own people, that pushes to be a dynamic, influential, and respected force in the international arena. And here, again, the barriers that you placed on ourselves.
I am therefore honored to introduce the former Prime Minister of Kenya, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, here at the seat of the African Union, for him to engage with you and outline his vision and priorities, which are founded on AU Agenda 2063. I believe, Josefa, you'll clap for me on that one. The President, the government, and the people of Kenya wholeheartedly, and I emphasize, wholeheartedly, present to you one of our most celebrated sons to be the next chairperson of the African Union Commission.
Talking about this, and of course, me being Kenyan and a great fan and a mentee of Baba, I thought that we are going to lobby our colleagues to come for this launch, only to be surprised that Baba has not just mentored leaders in Kenya, but has mentored a few of these people that you're seeing here, leaders across the African continent.
Right, and that was happening just this evening in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Remember, he was with President William Ruto yesterday, which was Thursday. And, you know, the country really has been gunning for support from other African leaders, leaders who can be able to vote for him as the African Union Commission chairperson. Remember, just the heads of states or governments are eligible to vote. And so they're basically wooing presidents and heads of states and governments to be able to vote for him in the upcoming elections, which are in February of 2025. We'll be keeping tabs to see the reactions that come in from across Africa. But back here in the country, there is hope for payment of interned doctors as Treasury confirms availability of 1.75 billion shillings in a supplementary budget that will be advanced to the Ministry of Health and disbursed to counties as a conditional grant. According to a commitment letter from the Treasury to the Ministry of Health, the money will be available as agreed during a nationwide doctors' strike that paralyzed services for 3 months. The 1.75 billion will be available in the 2024-2025 financial financial year, while the remaining 1.7 billion will be available in the next financial year to settle the 3.5 billion shillings arrears. According to Public Health and Professional Standards Principal Secretary Mary Mudhoni, there is clear goodwill from government to implement the emerging issues during the strike as the government seeks to avert such a scenario.
And I want to report confidently that we have budgets for the interns this year, and we will be paying where there is no contention. And I believe we are not going to have any contention. So the interns that are in the field who have been working for months on end will be paid, and we are processing their payments so that we are able to move away from that again. And we also promised to give a conditional grant to the counties, 3.5 billion shillings conditional grant to the counties, and already 1.75 has been demarcated, and Treasury has already written to us confirming that during supplementary 2 we will be able to give the basic salary arrears as a conditional grant to the counties so that they may pay their staff. That was one other thing that we had already agreed. And more so the payment of postgraduate studies, and especially when there was no contention, the lists were provided to the ministry and they were paid for to the universities where they are studying. That is another thing that we had agreed. In the return to work formula, we agreed that the basic salary arrears that is owed by the counties to the doctors is going to be given as a conditional grant by the national government. And already Treasury has written to the Ministry of Health that we will be allocating 1.75 billion shillings in this financial year, because the 3.5 billion was to be paid within a period of 2 years. So this financial year, we will be having 1.75 to pay the basic salary arrears that is owed by the counties to the doctors.
Still within the health sector, clergy leaders are now calling for the suspension of the Social Health Insurance Fund, SHIF, and revert back to the NHIF. The leaders are asking government to better NHIF and revert back to the old system, as well as listen to the concerns by Kenyans. Social Health Authority, SHA, has seen bumpy transition, even as it marked 1 month recently since its implementation, where a number of patients suffering from critical illnesses have not been treated with the card. All formal employees are currently paying 2.75% of their gross salary to SHIF.
Revert to NHIF until SHIF is ready. Having observed the immense suffering by individual patients and families, we appeal to the government to suspend the implementation of the Social Health Insurance Fund, SHIF, and revert to the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF, until the Social Health Authority puts all necessary measures and structures in place. Let us not sacrifice more lives just to get money out of Kenyans. In addition, we call for a radical change in the benefits provided under the SHIF to ensure they match, or at least are better than the benefits that we enjoyed under the NHIF. It does not make sense to us that Kenyans are now paying more money but are getting less benefits. We are concerned that the benefits proposed under the Social Health Authority / Social Health Insurance Fund are way below this average and will require patients to pay from their pockets for medical care and medication. We are already seeing this happening.
Ile kuandikisha ili akaweze kufikishwa kwa ile SHA, na anaweza akachukua muda mrefu kabla hajapata matibabu. Na mara nyingi huwa ukiona mtoto ama mtu mzima amekimbizwa hospitali, huwa inatakikana akapate matibabu ya haraka. Kwa hivyo kama vile tulivyosema kama viongozi, itakuwa vizuri sana kama serikali ingeonelea vizuri turudi upande ule tulikuwa nao kwanza.
Principal Secretary for Education Dr. Belio Kipsang has urged exam center managers and school heads not to risk their careers by allowing cheating during examinations. While speaking at the office of the Deputy County Commissioner in Kikuyu, where he was distributing KCSE exam papers, Dr. Kipsang stated that the only 11 cases of teachers attempting to bring in phones in the exam rooms had been reported countrywide. He added that his ministry is working to reduce the number of security officers to allow students to take the exams peacefully.
We've ran a good race so far. There have been few incidences of real isolated incidences of telephones. I think across we might have had around 11 cases, I think. And to us, this is a good run this year. And I would want to thank our teachers because we are moving towards ensuring that this is a school exercise, that the schools can be able to manage their processes all the way from teaching to assessment and examinations. There are consequences according to law for not registering children, because all our children, all, be they in private schools and those in our public schools, we pay for exams. Government pays for exams. And therefore there is no reason why anybody would not do it. There was a school in Eldred which never did it, and already the director and the owner of the school are already in court. And any other case, the law will take its course, because there is no reason at all, no reason why we should not register any child because the children and their parents don't pay for examination. It is government that pays.
Deputy Chief of Staff in the Office of the President, Eliud Owalo, has assured the public of the government's commitment to ensuring a smooth transition of students from grade 8 to grade 9. Owalo emphasized that the government is doing its best to facilitate the transition and noted that the Ministry of Education will construct an additional 16,000 new classrooms for grade 9 before the end of 2024. He further stated that the mechanisms are already in place to ensure the infrastructure is ready across the country by January 2025.
Under the leadership of the President, the government is doing its best to ensure that the transition from standard 8 to 9 at primary school level is facilitated. We need about an additional 16,000 classrooms, and the government has put in place mechanisms, financial facilitation, to ensure that as at January 2025, we are going to have an additional 16,000 classrooms spread evenly all over the country. We are aware that we have been having a shortage of teachers, and that is why the government has again decided to absorb the 46,000 teachers who have been teaching as interns. Now they are being absorbed fully through the Teacher Service Commission so that we can enhance the numbers of teachers in our schools. Over and above that, we are also going to have an additional 20,000 teachers. The government has already, through the Teacher Service Commission, placed an advertisement for that so that we get an additional 20,000 teachers within our schools. So the onus now is on us, local community. Let's do our best.
This, and it is not enough to have excellent infrastructure. The remaining task is yours. That these facilities will have meaning only if performance improves. And our objectives as funders of this project to make sure that our children are well prepared to be digital natives of the future. This is now your responsibility. It is not ours. And I can tell you, this is not the last time we're coming here. We want to come here and to make sure that facilities that we've offered are delivering to our expectations. So I can guarantee you, this is not the last time we're handing over, but we'll be constant visitors here to make sure that the objectives are real.
Public university lecturers are blaming the government for ignoring their demands, saying that they will not return to work until the return to work agreement is completely implemented. Members in the University Academic Staff Union, WASU, have said that the government has shown a lack of willpower to resolve the existing dispute, since the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Julius Ogamba, has failed to attend scheduled meetings. Lecturers demand 9.7 billion shillings to fund the additional salaries.
Mambo yenu ya kubadilisha management tumapeleka Nairobi leo. Sawa sawa? Na nawahakikishieni kutakuwa na mageuzi katika chuo yenu. Sawa sawa? Ile kitu nataka ni waombe ninyi kama wafanyikazi wa university hii. Hakuna kitu haina suluhisho. Au namna gani? Kama nyinyi hamuko na mshahara, serikali imekubali kulipa yote. Sivyo? Ile kitu nataka niwaeleze. Wacha niwaeleze kwa sababu si mnataka suluhisho. Sasa kama nataka niwaeleze namna ya kusuluhisha, mkikataa yote, tutakuwa na suluhisho kweli? That is why we are here. Na tumekaa hapa tangu saa 3 mpaka saa hizi. Na niliwaeleza tutaenda mkutano na tutarudi kuwaeleza yale tuliongea pale ndani. Si namna hiyo? Ninawaeleza na narudia hivi. Your issues have been well articulated. Na sisi. Sawa sawa? Issue ya management ya university hii itabadilika. Nataka nirudie tena. Ya 3. Lini? Mimi sio mtu wa kuandika vice chancellor. I'm taking the report to Nairobi. Very good. Unanielewa? Mimi sio mtu wa kuandika kanzo. Sivyo? Tapeleka report wapi? Nairobi. Vile mlivyosema. Sasa namna hiyo. Ya 3. Ninyi
Now, the Parliamentary Committee on Education says it is shocked with the state of Moi University, and Chairman of the committee, Julius Meli, on Friday, said there was need for a caretaker council and management to help rescue the institution. A strike by workers has paralyzed operations for over 3 months now. Meli said time had come for management changes at the university, where the members of parliament saw for themselves the sorry state of facilities which have been neglected. Tinderet, member of parliament, said they had directed the management of the university to agree on a return to work formula with workers' unions by the end of Saturday and forward a report on the same. Hundreds of lecturers and other workers had confronted the committee demanding the removal of the management.
Mambo yenu ya kubadilisha management tumapeleka Nairobi leo. Sawa sawa? Na nawahakikishieni kutakuwa na mageuzi katika chuo yenu. Sawa sawa? Ile kitu nataka ni waombe ninyi kama wafanyikazi wa university hii. Hakuna kitu haina suluhisho. Au namna gani? Kama nyinyi hamuko na mshahara, serikali imekubali kulipa yote. Sivyo? Ile kitu nataka niwaeleze. Wacha niwaeleze kwa sababu si mnataka suluhisho. Sasa kama nataka niwaeleze namna ya kusuluhisha, mkikataa yote, tutakuwa na suluhisho kweli? That is why we are here. Na tumekaa hapa tangu saa 3 mpaka saa hizi. Na niliwaeleza tutaenda mkutano na tutarudi kuwaeleza yale tuliongea pale ndani. Si namna hiyo? Ninawaeleza na narudia hivi. Your issues have been well articulated. Na sisi. Sawa sawa? Issue ya management ya university hii itabadilika. Nataka nirudie tena. Ya 3. Lini? Mimi sio mtu wa kuandika vice chancellor. I'm taking the report to Nairobi. Very good. Unanielewa? Mimi sio mtu wa kuandika kanzo. Sivyo? Tapeleka report wapi? Nairobi. Vile mlivyosema. Sasa namna hiyo. Ya 3. Ninyi
Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti has launched the issuance of 50,000 title deeds to residents in a move that seeks to empower residents to secure their parcels of land. Governor Ndeti kicked off the exercise on Thursday by issuing 1,000 title deeds to residents of Kibauni Ward in Mwala constituency. The process was overseen by Machakos Land Registrar Dorothy Leting and Machakos County Executive Committee member for Lands Nathaniel Nganga. Wavinya underscored that the process will reduce the bureaucracy of having to visit the county offices for the application and collection of deeds, adding that having the vital documents would empower the welfare of the people.
Watu wetu sana wali apply title deeds wameshindwa kwenda Machakos kuzichukua, na tumekubaliana na registrar, tukiwa na mikutano kama hii tunaita watu wetu, tuna facilitate watu wanakuja wanachukua title deeds zao, kwa sababu kuwapatia title deed ni kuempower our people.
The importance of a title deed inakupatia security of tenure. Ukikuwa na title hautapigana na mtu. Hiyo inasema hiyo shamba ni yako na inaweza kukusaidia kwa mambo mengi. Unaweza ukapeleka bank ikusaidie na loan, unaweza somesha mtoto nayo, ukiwa mgonjwa unaweza kujitibu nayo, and it goes very well with our excellency the governor's slogan that chakula mezani, pesa mfukoni. On top of that, I would want to say thank you for giving us a conducive environment for working. We work very well with your waziri and your chief officer. When we were doing the evaluation role for Machakos County, we realized that we had a lot of pending titles in the office, and he really helped us in giving us staff and facilitation to record all those titles. And we realized that we had over 40,000 titles that were pending for collection. Hizi titles ni first registration, ni inapeanwa for free. The government is committed in giving out 3 million titles for the 5 years that the current president is in office.
Police in Kakamega North are holding a suspected violent robber identified as Jackson Mwangi Wangeshi, aged 38, in whose 3 separate hideouts assorted weapons and other instruments used in preparation for felonies were discovered. Conducting an intelligence-led joint operation, the National Police Service officers ambushed the suspect at a club within Malava Township before proceeding to his house, where assorted implements used for breaking in government stores were found. This included assorted military gear, imitation of pistols, magazines containing rubber bullets, machetes, suspected stolen mobile phones, a bunch of keys, pocket phones, among others. The suspect is in custody as investigation continues.
Tuliweza kupata habari ambayo ilikuja kuripotiwa hapa. Immediately wakati tuliripotiwa, timu sisi kama askari wakiongozwa na DCI na other na OCS waliweza kwenda kwa ile mshukiwa alikuwa anashukiwa, na wakati walienda wakahoji. Wakati walihoji waliweza kuangalia kufanya ile upekuzi, wakaangalia hizo vitu. Tuliweza kulikaba vitu mingi, ikiwa mfano magwanda ya askari, vitu vyuma vya kubomoa manyumba, mafungua aina mingi ya mangari na zile kandi za simu mingi ambaye mshukiwa ile alipatikana nazo. Na kuendelea tukasindi, kulikuwa hata na vitu vingi vya, tulipata mfano moja ile ya bunduki aina ya Seska na zile risasi zake. Tukaweza kukuja naye DCIO kufanyia upekuzi na inventory, na sababu tuko na habari tujamaliza mshukiwa wako katika korokoro zetu. Tunaendelea na uchunguzi sababu iko lindi tuko naso ambazo kuna washukiwa wengine walikuwa wanashirikiana na wao kutenda hizi mahariba wahalifu. So na bando uchunguzi unaendelea tukitafuta wale wengine wachukiwa.
Now, Cabinet Secretary for Forestry, Aden Duale, has announced a ban on farming activities within government-managed forests, specifically targeting Cheptais and Kaberwa forests in Mount Elgon constituency. The directive, aimed at conserving the environment, mandates that all farming operations in this forest must cease immediately. Duale emphasized the importance of protecting Kenya's natural resources, stating that the environmental degradation caused by agricultural activities in forested areas threatens ecosystem and biodiversity.
All natural forests, and I'm issuing an immediate and total ban on cultivation in Cheptais and any other legally designated natural forest within our country. These ecosystems must be safeguarded to maintain their ecological integrity and biodiversity. To all our communities, government officials and particularly Kenya Forest Service were doing a very good job. Here these actions that compromise the integrity of Mount Elgon or any of our natural forests will not be tolerated. Anyone, including government officials, found engaging in activities that harm this ecosystem, be it through collision, encroachment, illegal cultivation, will face severe consequences, including our own dismissal. They are the foundation of our national well-being. Our forests are not mere resources. They are the foundation of our forest. Under President Ruto's leadership, we are serious, we are focused in making sure Kenya tree growing objective is achieved. I really want to commend our partners, the UN, FAO, JEF, and other stakeholders, and moreover, I'm proud to announce the establishment of Mount Elgon Day. Tutakuwa na siku ya Mount Elgon, na hiyo siku itakuwa Novemba tarehe 7. This day we call to all action for all our stakeholders to come together, reflect on our progress, and reaffirm our commitment to restoring and conserving Mount Elgon ecosystem. Hii misitu ya Mount Elgon hatuwezi kuhifadhi sisi viongozi na serikali kama hatuwezi kushirikiana na nyinyi. Lakini wale wanakeuka sheria, gavana, watu wako tukianza kushika, nimeona ng'ombe huko juu, nimepata manyumba kidogo hapo, pengine muulize county commissioner apatie nyinyi 24 hours ya kujipanga, lakini kutoka mnatoka.
All right, let's talk sports. Now, the Football Kenya Federation countrywide branch elections scheduled for Saturday have been suspended by a high court in Kitui County. The court issued the injunction halting the county elections after a group calling itself Kenya Football Association filed a suit claiming of being the legitimate body to conduct FKF polls. In their petition, the emerging group is alleging that FKF has failed to comply with the Sports Act, and thus the Federation cannot oversee the process that will culminate to the presidential polls on December 7th. The relatively unknown KFA also want an urgent directive for the Sports Register to revoke FKF's certificate of registration. The case will be heard and determined on Tuesday, November 12th. The Saturday's county elections were to set the ball rolling for the much-awaited presidential polls, but that is not to be tomorrow. Elsewhere, the 9th edition of the Chemususu Dam Half Marathon was launched by the Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Kipchumba Murkomen, and the event is slated for November 16th in Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet County. Murkomen emphasized that there is a critical role of environment conservation, especially for vital water catchment areas like the Chemususu Dam. Now, the event's main objective is raising awareness of critical environmental challenges while funding impactful projects that include building a runway track or a running track, and new classrooms at Chemususu Primary School, as well as planting 20,000 trees annually.
Today's launch is not just an announcement, but it's a call to action, inviting all Kenyans and supporters beyond our borders to rally behind this very important cause. The Chemususu Dam Half Marathon, established to champion the conservation of Chemususu Dam, a vital water source of residents of Baringo and Nakuru counties, and I dare say also Elgeyo Marakwet County, because that's where partly the source of the dam is, has grown into a powerful symbol of shared values of community, conservation, and pursuit of excellence. Today, the marathon, which will this year feature over 1,500 athletes and 7,500 fans, brings the much needed attention to the importance of protecting our natural resources, ensuring that the present and the future generations have access to clean water and sustainable environment.
All right, interesting things happening at FKF, the Football Kenya Federation. The polls were all set to start tomorrow across about more than 40 polling stations countrywide. But now that has been paused. Questions are asked about what happens next and when will these elections finally take off. But we leave it at the hands of the court, who will be determining that case very soon. So we wrap it up at that point. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. I hope your weekend starts up to a roar. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night. God bless.